On 1, 2, 3.
Good morning. Good morning. Is that better? Thank you. Sorry. Welcome to a very special service of worship.
We're delighted to have you all here this morning as we come into this place, both those of you who are here in person, as well as those of you here online. Am I on? There we go. That sounds better. We seek to be a intercultural and inclusive community, and as such, we arrive at this place with the greatest of intentions, but we don't always succeed in what it is that we attempt to do, and so it is with humility that we enter into this space and into our life and ministry together.
We want to especially welcome those online this morning. I know that not everybody can be with us in person, and so for those of you watching from away, and those of you who are visiting with us this morning because it's a special service for some reason in your life, a very warm welcome to you. Our guests this morning, please stay for cake. It's the most wonderful thing to be able to say. But for those of you dropping in to be with us for whatever reason, do come and see our beautiful commons and get to know our new fabulous building.
There are a number of announcements for you. Hopefully, as you came in the back door, you saw the March newsletter. Betty, you want to just wave it, since I didn't bring one up with me? There we go. Pick up a newsletter or take a look at it online is even better. That helps us save paper and know what's coming up and about. This week is the beginning of Lent. And as such, we'll be celebrating Shrove Tuesday and Ash Wednesday all together on one day, the Wednesday. So if you show up on Tuesday, there'll be nothing here for you. But if you come on Wednesday, we'll feed you pancakes and fresh fruit and all those kind of good things. And then we'll follow that with an Ash Wednesday supper. It helps for our planning if we know in advance some of who's coming. There's always room for a few last-minute drop-ins. You can get your tickets online or through the office. And as well, what our original plan had been has kind of fallen through. So we're in the process of pulling together a team of folks to help us with that supper. So if that's something you are able to help with, you can also let the office or me or Sheila know, and we'll look at a way of integrating you into that. It's also the beginning of Ramadan. And Iftar is an important service in which the community moves out of a time of fasting and into a time of prayer and eating. And we've been invited by the Turkish Islam community to be part of an iftar. They're going to host it here at Broadview. And we have an opportunity to be 40 people in total, 20 from their community and 20 from ours, to be a part of that fast-breaking meal. And it will be a time both of some prayer, a little bit of education about the commonalities of our faith, and then a fabulous meal in terms of the breaking of a fast. We'd want to get as diverse a representation from our community as possible in that. And so we're going to ask you to apply if you're interested in being a part of that. And then we'll take a look of all those who have applied and figure out what will be the best representatives from Broadview. So there's more about that in the newsletter as well.
This morning is all about promise keeping. At the back, in the hands of our fabulous ushers, is a little note from Pier Ann Moon, who will be with us at the next service, but her dad is a big part of the story we're celebrating today. Promise keeping is a huge image for us as we think about our relationships with the first people of this land. What we are doing today is telling a sacred story. This land has heard sacred stories from time immemorial. The time listening to languages as rich as the Lekwungen, the Wasanic, all these beautiful stories of stewardship, history, and legacy have been part of this land architecture forever. We recognize that with deep appreciation, seeking to be true to our promise to learn more and to walk the path of reconciliation with humility and with trust.
A couple more announcements as we move our way forward for you to know about and hope that you'll take a look. This is the United Church Women's International Day of Prayer, and we invite you to that service this week as well. There's some other notes of interest for you in terms of the upcoming anniversary celebration and a few other things. So I'm going to invite you to be a part of that, and I'm not getting any response on my clicker, so I need some help from the back. There we go. Our question of the day today. So how do you celebrate legacy? Our service today is about a legacy of history and tradition that has brought us to this moment, faithfulness, etc. And we're going to hear stories about ways in which we live into that legacy. And we invite you to think about your role in that legacy as well. So as we prepare for worship, let us gather and be ready as we join in our words. We gather as God's people, bound together by faith and service.
From generation to generation, God has led us in love and generosity. As Congregationalists, Methodist and Presbyterian, as First Metropolitan, St. Aidan's and Cadbra Bay, and now Broadview United. We have walked the path of faith, struggle, and transformation.
From the birth of the Open Door Society and its transition to our place, each congregation has offered continued support.
We celebrate the call to serve, to give, and to love without limits. Today, we offer a legacy gift, a sign of faith planted long ago and still bearing fruit. May it bring hope to those who need and shine as a light across us.
Come, let us worship together with the one who has called us into this journey.
With grateful hearts and open hands, we come this day.
Amen. Each Sunday for generations, the Christ candle has stood as a reminder of faithfulness, the faithfulness of God to each and every one of us and our faithfulness in return. And so it is, as we light this candle, we are reminded in the ways in which the Spirit of God is present in our world, but more importantly, the way in which the Spirit of God is present in the lives of each and every one of you here. Part of the task of all of these historical agencies and of the Open Door this day is to be able to proclaim that we indeed see the light of Christ shining in each and every person who both serves and is served, for we are all one family together. Will you join with me in our opening prayer? God of abundance and grace, you have companioned our footstep through the generations, shaping us into a people of faith, generosity, and compassion. From the founding of our congregations to our new life as Broadview United, from the birth of our place society to the work it carries out today, you have called us to walk in love and to serve in your name. We give thanks for those who have gone before us, their vision, their sacrifices, their belief in a future they could not yet see. And we give thanks for this moment, where their faithfulness allows us to offer a gift that will bless and uplift others. Bless this time of worship. May it be filled with gratitude for what has been, hope for what is still to come, and a renewed call to live as your people in the world. As followers of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
As we go into our worship, I would like to make a special welcome to some people at the back of the room. We have in the back pew the most loved seats in the church. Alan Tizick, Jillian Daly, and our guest speaker, Lee Sonquist. Also, we have Don Evans over there with his folks. And I just wanted to make a special word of welcome to you.
Let us build a house where love can dwell and all can safely live. A place where saints and children tell how hearts learn to forgive. Built of hopes and dreams and visions, rock of faith and vault of grace. Here the love of Christ shall end divisions. All are welcome, all are welcome, all are welcome in this place. Let us build a house where and beyond the wood and stone, to heal and strengthen, serve and teach, and live the word they've known. Hear the outcast and the stranger, bear the image of God's face. Let us bring an end to fear and danger. All
come for the time with children and all those who are young in heart. But I realized I forgot to tell you who we are. My name is Sheila McKinnon, and along with Margaret Harper, one of the pastoral care ministers here at Broadview. Beside me is Mark Green, along with Hannah Park, the two co-lead ministers here. We also have a wonderful group of people, including board members and past board members, and Alan Saunders, the founding pastor of the congregation known as First Met. And so, as you see these people appear, now you'll have a name, and I turn it over to Mark.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's good to see you. I need your help this morning. I have a bunch of pieces of wood here, and I wonder if you can help me build a building. Can you help? All right, perfect.
Lucy can be in the middle.
Perfect. All right, let's get you all in here helping me.
That's the door.
That looks like a door? Okay, well, let's see. Where is it going to go?
These look like a sail. It's kind of sticky.
It's kind of sticky. All right, well, maybe we got to get some of the other pieces out of the way. What do you think? Takes a lot of planning, doesn't it? Oh, all right.
It looks like
What do you think?
that.
Like that? Yeah, that might be one of the ways it goes. It's kind of tricky, hey? Uh-huh. What do you think? That piece goes, oh, that's pretty smart.
Oh, yeah. Where does the other piece go?
What do you think?
I think that one goes there.
You think that one goes there? Where do you think that goes?
Wait, I think the door I think goes there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty smart.
Oh, yeah. There's one more piece.
That's one more piece. Where do you think it might go?
That's cool. Someone can live in the
Could it be a roof?
bottom little.
Could also go there. Yeah. Could also go here, maybe. What do you think? There, with the camel inside.
And
And the baby inside, too. Excellent. So there's lots of different ways this comes together, hey?
yeah.
Yeah. And do you realize that it took all of us together to make all of this happen, right? So one of the things we know about our world, and that Jesus taught, is that it takes a bunch of us together working to build something important. And today, in this service, we're celebrating the building of some important things that have happened. There's a building, a new building that's going to happen where people who have had some struggles in life can go to be helped and to be supported. But they can't build that building alone, and we can't build that building alone. But in partnership with places like our place and with other legacy builders, we together can build something amazing, like you just have. And so you are a part of this congregation. And this congregation is a part of something bigger called the United Church of Canada. And we're a part of Victoria. And together in Victoria, we're part of building some things that will have some legacy. Now, that's a big word. It means a history of something we're proud of that goes on and on. So you are part of that legacy, and we're glad you're here this morning. So whether you are tiny or bigger, like you are, or even bigger like me, yeah. When you get into your teens like me, yeah, it gets to be big. We slowly make our way through life, right? And all of us together are a part of something important, and you're a part of this Broadview. There might be another piece, right? We'll have to keep trying to find ways to build more. All righty. You go with Misha, and we will see you all for cake later. All right? Cake, yeah, that's exciting, eh?
long greening of soul, love stirring leaven within the whole. A rising hope, a rising of hope, we as leaven, raising an uprising of hope. O river of waters, O blossom of field, dear wander the sumac as cycles reach and yield. O circle of ancients, come gather us in, losing each other, our fall from dream. A rising hope, a rising of hope, we as leaven, raising an uprising of hope. Come bend to the river, stones washing in rain, love caught in the narrows will seize the stream again. Come bear to the river, grass lifting the sun, all rise with morning, creating dawn. A rising hope, a rising of hope, we as leaven, raising an uprising of hope. Our lives made new, our love made new, our world new again.
Our Place Society in Victoria, British Columbia has a rich history of caring for and nurturing the marginalized, rooted in community support and collaboration by the churches of the Victoria Presbytery. It was established through the merger of two pivotal organizations, the Upper Room Society and the Open Door. The Upper Room was founded in 1967 as a coffee house intended to provide meals and shelter to those in need. In the mid-80s, they expanded to the building at 919 Pandora Avenue and began offering enhanced food services and transitional housing for men. The Open Door was founded in 1986 as a result of research on the needs of the city core done by the Inner City Church Council, consisting of representatives of Metropolitan, First, and Centennial United. Chaired by Reverend Phil Ross of the Victoria Presbytery, the committee included ministers Laura Butler, Lawrence Fetter, Hugh Hunter, and Lawrence Moon. This inner-city ministry was intended to be the living room of downtown, a place where people could get out of the weather and receive unconditional love in a non-judgmental way. Struggling to find a permanent location, the Open Door moved to various locations around Victoria until 2002, when it occupied 935 Pandora Avenue, directly adjacent to the Upper Room. Board members and staff from the First and Metropolitan United congregations included Wilda Cottam, Penny Bond, Jane Louie, Helen McKay, and Robin Krause. These two organizations merged in 2005 to create what we now know as Our Place, and completed construction of a new building at 919 Pandora in 2007. Reverend Lawrence Moon was a beloved founding member of the Open Door and served as the only full-time staff member from 1986 to 1992. He was assisted by a team of part-time staff, practicum students, and volunteers. His vision was to offer unconditional, non-judgmental love to hurting people. "We're really family," Moon said, because 90% don't have any family. Along with others, he developed the Balmoral Housing Society, which built low-income housing in North Park on property belonging to First United Church. When Reverend Moon retired in 1992, Reverend Alan "Al" Tissick took on the role of director. He had been a cornerstone advocating for and supporting Victoria's homeless and marginalized communities for over 3 decades. After retiring from Our Place at 65, Reverend Al founded the Dandelion Society to reach those left behind. Known for his early morning rounds, he provided coffee, muffins, and compassionate conversation to those living on the streets. In 2021, he retired from the Dandelion Society, handing the reins to his son Jordan, who already worked at Our Place and would go on to run the Dandelion Society from there. Dr. Robin Krause's legacy with Our Place Society is profound. As the chair of the Open Door for a decade, he was instrumental in merging it with the Upper Room, leading to the creation of Our Place Society. His vision and dedication have left an enduring impact on the organization and the community it serves. Dawn Evans served as CEO of Our Place Society from 2012 to 2019, during which he oversaw significant expansions in services, including the development of shelters, employment advocacy programs, transitional housing, and addiction treatment facilities. Succeeding Dawn Evans, the current CEO, Julian Daly, brought extensive experience from his previous role as Executive Director of Boyle Street Community Services in Edmonton. Under his leadership, Our Place Society has continued to enhance its programs and services, focusing on holistic support for those in need. One of those initiatives is the New Roads Recovery Center, an integrated residential addiction center that provides ongoing therapeutic and medical support, as well as employment, educational, work experience, and transitional support. Alan Saunders, former lead minister of First Metropolitan, serves as past chair of the board of directors at Our Place and was chair from 2021 to 2022. Congregants voted unanimously to honor a commitment to the inner city of Victoria by making a donation from its foundation to the work of Our Place. This donation of over $500,000 will go toward the Recovery Center for Women, which is admitting its first community member this month. This gift is accompanied today by the ongoing commitment of Broadview United Church to honor this legacy.
Morning. Today's scripture readings from Matthew 31 to 40. The reading is often known as the parable of the sheep and the goats. Jesus emphasized the importance of loving others and living a changed life rather than saying the right things. It's about actions of love and compassion towards others and highlights the importance of caring for those in need and treating them as if we were serving Jesus himself. It starts off with, "At the appointed time, the promised one will come in glory, escorted by all the angels of heaven, and will sit upon the royal throne. All the nations will be gathered before him. Then he will say to those who are righteous, 'Come, you that are beloved of God, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me. Then the righteous will answer him, Holy One, when was it that I saw you hungry and gave you food, or thirsty and gave you something to drink? And when was it that I saw you a stranger and welcomed you, or naked and gave you clothing? And when was it that we saw you sick or in prison and visited you? The answer will come, truly I tell you, just as you did to one of the least of these who are members of my family, you did it to me. This too is part of our story. Thanks be to God.
Just before introducing our guest speaker, I wanted to say a word of thanks. Thanks to Sheila and to all who have been working so hard to put together this special service. Thanks for that video. It only came together in the last few days with great effort, and thanks so much for each one who took part in making that possible. Wasn't it a marvelous video we saw? Yeah. I also want to say thank you for the beautiful special music we had today. And with the music were photos of some beautiful people. Lawrence and Evelyn Moon, Laura Butler, Robin Krause. I can't think of finer people to represent the legacy theme that is part of this service. Friends, much of what we've been hearing in the world news these days is bad. Bad news. Bad news. Anybody here longing for some good news? Right? Well, that's exactly what you're going to hear this morning. Our guest speaker is Lee Sundquist. Lee's good news, it comes through her own life journey and her professional experience in recovery work. At New Roads, there's a therapeutic recovery community for men that has been there for a little while now, and she has worked as a very effective manager for over 3 years. But now, as a new therapeutic recovery community opens for women, who will be its manager? Lee. And here she is. I didn't know if you're still going to be back at that back pew, but I did want to say, Lee, be assured that there is a very warm welcome for you here this morning. You're among friends, many of whom you have yet to meet, but believe me, you are among friends here, and we are looking forward so much to hearing your message.
Thank you very much, Helen. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my story today. Thank you for your warm welcome this morning. I do want to give thanks to my own higher power and thanks to Our Place Society for the work that they do and for the warm welcome that they gave to me when I first arrived. I also want to give thanks to the 4 men, I think you're in the 7th row down, for your support today. You guys mean the world to me, and I'm really happy that you came. So I'm Lee, and I identify as a woman in recovery, and I'm going to share my story today about rebuilding within. It's a journey of healing and hope. So today I have a life that just over 12 years ago I never ever imagined was possible or that I would have. As a young child, I didn't plan to grow up and be an addict. I had hopes and dreams and goals just like all my other childhood friends. I was 12 years old when I first put substances into my body, and at that time I had no idea what my future ahead would look like. All I knew at that time was that the substances made me feel good, they gave me the courage to get out of myself, to feel accepted, and I felt like I fit in. I drank and smoked pot whenever I could, usually on the weekends with my girlfriend, when I spent the night at her house, or when I went to school. Before we went to school, if she could steal liquor out of her parents' liquor cabinet, we would get drunk before we went to school. On many occasions, the principal knew that I'd been drinking, and he would take me into the staff room and let me sleep it off. He knew if he called my parents that I would go home and I would be physically abused by my dad. Telltale signs were there of childhood abuse, bruises, marks, and such. At that time, it was a dirty little secret, family secret. At the age of 15, I'd had enough, and I ran away from home and moved to Victoria with two of my girlfriends. So we were all 15, and one was 16. We actually lived on the corner of Pandora and Cook, which was the old Wellburns there. So drunk and stoned every day, parties, cars, and boys. At 16, I started injecting heroin, speed, and cocaine, and I'll never forget the first time I injected heroin. It was like somebody took their arms and wrapped their arms around my body, caressing my soul, or so I thought. Drugs and alcohol and abusive relationships now became my norm. So at the age of 20, I married, and 2 years later had my first daughter, Ashley. I yearned to have a normal life at that point, because now I had a child, I had a husband, and I really, really wanted to be normal. I stopped using during my pregnancy, but substances had now become such a part of my life and my identity, I quickly picked up again shortly after my daughter was born. My husband was physically and mentally abusing me, and I didn't know how to escape the trauma. I was very naive, very young, wasn't aware of what resources were available at that time. So my escape was to use drugs and alcohol. Eventually, I was able to get out of that relationship, but I continued my now usual pattern, and by the 27 years old, I had my second daughter, Alexis. And I married her father shortly after that. Because drugs and alcohol and abuse had always been part of my life, it felt okay and normal to me. So I continued this pattern throughout my child's youth. My life existed of getting drugs, staying high, and providing for my children, whether it meant selling my body or committing crimes. I did what I needed to provide, and I did what I needed to survive. It was only when my daughter, Ashley, was a mom herself, said to me that she could no longer have me in her life and in her daughter's life, that I thought about making a change. I was also in front of the courts once again to face some charges, and I was just getting to the point in my life where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of the rat race and the lifestyle that I was living. But I didn't know how to change that, right? So January the 30th, 2013, once again in front of the courts for crimes I committed, looking at quite a serious length of prison time. With some self-reflection and research, I had found a treatment center over in Maple Ridge, a women's treatment center, and had a bed date for February the 1st, 2013. I spoke to the judge that I stood before and pled with him for the opportunity to go to treatment and to make positive changes in my life, and he gave me that opportunity. However, he did tell me that there would be some real serious consequences if I did not follow the conditions of my CSO that he laid out. I'll never forget those words. I thought about that a lot while I was in treatment. The treatment center was on the mainland, so it meant leaving my family, my community in Victoria, and let me tell you, that was not an easy journey to take. This meant leaving everything that I knew, everyone that I knew, my children, my support, my two chihuahuas, and my community. Without the support of my 2 daughters, I don't think I would have been able to do it. So I was really lucky to have that support from them and still to have them in my life at that point. I was heading into the unknown with a small glimmer of hope that I might be able to finally shed the grip that addiction had on me. And addiction is a very selfish disease. I thought I knew it all. I was told by the staff at the treatment center many times to take the cotton out of my ears and put it into my mouth. Yeah, I was pretty grateful for that eventually. And I was stubborn too. 3 weeks after I was there, I walked out and I basically told all the staff where to go and walked out and called my daughter and said, "You can come pick me up." And she said to me on the phone, she said, "Mom, I don't know what you're doing because I'm not coming to get you." And I'm like, "Really? Well, what am I going to do now?" And she said, "Mom, you know what? I'm going to phone the director and I'll call you right back." So I stood there on the side of the road. She had my vehicle. She had my money, and what money I had, and I had no place to go. So when she called me back, she's like, "Mom, I've talked to the director, and the director said that you can come back and don't do that again." Yeah, that's my daughter. So I walked back to the treatment center with my tail between my legs. They put me into an office where I sat for like 3 hours. But it was at that point where I had some real reflection, and I prayed. And I prayed to my higher power, and I asked for help. And from that day on, I actually started to listen what these folks that had gone before me were talking about, and the message that they had and what they had to say, because obviously they'd been through what I'd been through, so they knew what they were talking about, right? And I had to let go of that ego, and I had to accept that if I want to make these changes, I need to do the work. So after going through their treatment program, I went to their second stage, and they had the owner of the treatment center I went to had organized a frontline support worker training program through Work BC and some government agencies. So he took me aside and he said, "You're the kind of person that we'd like to have on our staff. I'd like you to take this training." And I was so grateful at that point because I didn't know what I was going to go back to. I'd sold drugs and committed crimes for so many years. I was at that point, what am I going to do when I finish treatment? My plan actually was to go back to Victoria and continue to do what I was doing. So I was really glad when he brought this to me and gave me this opportunity. So I took the training and I was hired immediately right after I completed the training. I started as a junior support work, then I went to senior support worker, eventually assistant manager. And I worked with women in recovery at the treatment center I went through for 8 years over on the mainland. After being there for 8 years, I decided to test the waters and work with folks down in the East End that were still on addiction to make sure that I was comfortable being in that type of a situation with people that were actively using. And that was fine. So once I experienced that, I made the decision to return to the island and help folks in my own community and share my own strength and hope and knowledge. Once again, it was a really tough decision to make to leave my comfort zone, to leave all the supports that I had now built over the course of the last 8 years and leave those people behind on the mainland and return to the island. But I did have my family here, and they were always a huge support for me in my recovery. Like Helen said, for the past 3 years, I've managed Our Place Society's New Roads Men's Facility, and more recently, I've moved into the role of opening and managing our new women's facility. Having this amazing opportunity for the women in our community will be a game changer, such an amazing game changer. It is such a needed resource. There's no place on the island for women to go like the program that we have at New Roads. This will be the first of this type of program on the island. So we are so excited to be able to offer this opportunity to women on the island by providing this safe space and support for our sisters, mothers, daughters, friends, and family members to recover. Will not only empower them, but it'll give them an opportunity to rebuild their lives and give them hope for a better future. I was once given that opportunity and that hope. So I am so honored to be able to share my life and my journey and my hope and inspiration to the women that we were able to have come into our facility. Part of our vision is a focus for women's health and family reunification. And having this facility in our community means that the women will not have to leave their families, their supports, and their children behind to be able to get the help that they so desperately need and deserve, right? Everybody is worth it, and everybody deserves that opportunity. And we will be there to love them until they can love themselves again. Oh, and the judge that I stood in front of in 2013, his name is Ernie Quantz. Some of you may know him. He was a board member for Our Place Society, and I've had the opportunity to since meet Ernie, and we are connected now on a personal basis. He's been able to see that he actually made the right decision in giving me that opportunity. Thank you for letting me share my story today. I'm honored to be here.
Table, maybe. It is with the greatest of pleasure and pride that we present this legacy gift from the proceeds of First Metropolitan that flow through Broadview now to Our Place, to be able to support this work of Lee and of Julian and all of those who work so hard and tremendously at Our Place.
Here with the real check.
You'll get it later. It's okay, Paul. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, don't try cashing this one.
See trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds What a wonderful news, and the images of the future we can have with the movement and the journey with the hurting people at our place and here. What images of the future do you have, especially the images of the future at Broadview United? When we can have the images of the future, they inspire us and help us move with the purposeful action and movement. For us, one of the images of the future we have is that we invest in the spiritual nurture and flourishing of the future generation. And as we do, we reach out to the families of different financial circumstances and cultural backgrounds. Not the self-importance, but we build relationships. In the newsletter that you can get online and also around the church, which is just published, you can find a number of new volunteer opportunities to help us to do that. BVU Camp Spirit Summer Camp here at BVU, and the Congregational Outdoor Camp at Gold Stream in August, Sunday School, Intercultural Program, and many other volunteer opportunities are expressed in the newsletter we just have in March. Also, we have a family dinner, trans family dinner, and dinner church. Stewardship means to BVU, your passion, your open mind, your involvement, and your investment in the images of the good future we can all aspire together. Thank you for your generosity.
Friends, please join me in prayer in whatever way resonates with your own spirit. And before we begin, I just want to make mention that we received the news this week of the death of Claire Walker. And so people, particularly in the UCW, will be missing and mourning her as well as her family. So we keep them in our prayers. Please join me now in prayer. God of justice, hope, and new beginnings, for the gift of life in all of its dimensions, we thank you. This day we lift up and celebrate our place and the vision that was planted so many years ago. We find this vision is still so desperately needed in our world today. The vision that every person is deserving of dignity, every person is deserving of being seen and heard and loved and valued for who they are and who they are becoming. We celebrate that this beautiful definition of family is wide and deep and inclusive. We give thanks for Jesus and all the prophets before and after who have made it their life's ministry to always welcome folks in. We know we are stronger as a society and community when walls come down, hearts open, and tables become true places of hospitality and love. We give thanks for the legacy gift from First Metropolitan that will enable new beginnings for women in need. May we continue to be partners planting seeds of hope, belonging, and joy. Oh, generous one, there is so much in our world that pains us to the core. Greed and bullying and hatred and racism. These are at play at every level of the world stage. The call of Christ has never been more clarion or clear. Stand with the oppressed, work for justice, and never look down on the struggles of others. Today we stand especially with President Zelensky and the people of Ukraine. We stand with all who are on tenterhooks in Gaza and Palestine and Israel, knowing that the ceasefire has drawn to a close and aid is no longer flowing into Gaza. Oh God, we lift up all who work for peace around our world. And we also remember the good folks in the USA who are outraged at the actions of their administration. This day may we stand with all who are in need of grace, patience, love, and second chances. In the silence of our hearts this day, we know you hear all our prayers, and we trust that we walk this path with others, including not only our ancestors, but those who will continue this good work long after we are gone. Thanks be to you, O God of compassion and light. Amen. And just as we begin to head into the Draw the Circle Wide, if you are able and would like to actually make a physical circle around the sanctuary, we will do that. And remember, there's cake after this service, and we have reason to celebrate. And so may it be so.
Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Go the still point of the circle, round whom all creation turns. Nothing lost but held forever in God's gracious arms. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Let the dreams we dream be larger than we've ever dreamed before. Let the dream of Christ be in us. Open every door. Draw the circle wide. Draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide.
Go forth from this place, count your blessings, practice your faith, and never look down on the struggle for life. And may each person you encounter, may you see the face of Christ in them, and may they see the face of Christ in you.
God's blessing of the Sacred Spirit draws us deeper into faith. God's gift companioning us with Jesus, our brother, inspires us to greater works. God's gift in creation sustains us in our calling. Thanks be to God.
Amen.